So guys, we have got another head-to-head review of our Players Distance Iron playlist, our Players Distance Iron category. And today we've got two really good irons. We've got P790 in the mix again. We've seen this iron many, many times, and many of you love this iron and see great gains and great performance from it in the bay. However, today we're putting it up against the Srixon ZXi5. So this is the iron that sits in the middle of their range between 4 and 7, and for me is one of the best looking distance irons on the market, or players distance irons on the market. Normally produces great speeds, normally produces great feels. So this one I really enjoyed hitting. You'll see it in previous Srixon videos that we've done. I love hitting a Srixon iron. Head to head though, it's going to be interesting how they stack up. So let's jump in the fitting bay and see what the numbers say. So we'll jump straight in with P790. It's autumn here in the UK. The weather's changed, so we've decided to come indoors in the Milton Keynes bay today. TrackMan's on. We've got the Modus 105 in the shaft, and we know what 790 is all about, don't we? We've seen it enough times. I've hit it enough times in test. Solid, powerful, great look, super feel. It's why for me it's probably the #1 iron on the market. It's definitely our #1 iron this year across the stores. And I think TaylorMade know what they're doing with this iron. They don't mess around with it too much. They keep it pretty simple in the tweaks and the changes that they make to it, because it just works. Just comes off like an absolute bullet. Okay, a couple more. Oh, nice and fat. Let's try and hit another one. So we've seen this in some of the heads-to-heads before. If you look at some of the other episodes in this series, in this playlist, we have had the comments about taking out those duff ones in both. So we will try and keep doing that and tighten up that data so that the comparison is as tight as possible. So again, just feels really good off the face. Super solid, great flight. There's not really a lot else to say about 790. It's just a good, solid iron. So flipping over to ZXi5. Again, this iron does always go under the radar in my opinion. Such a good quality iron, really well built. And I tell you what, for the price point they put these at, it should be in more players' bags in my opinion. I think the price difference is quite incredible. It's somewhere in the region of £20 an iron if you're against the 790. So it's so much cheaper for a set of 6 or 7 irons. Wow, there's that thin one to start. What you do, definitely do get a different sensation in terms of the softness of the face. Oh, I love that. I love that feel. It's just so good. Ah, there's that horrible left one. I always feel like it's going to be better than that. Not quite. Bit pulley. It's going to change the numbers a little bit, hit that a little bit further off that pull shot. Let's try and hit a couple more down the line. Just really good. Just really, really solid iron. Really nice feel. A couple of off-centre strikes there, a little bit toey. And just try and hold one a little bit. Just try and get one down the line would be nice. That's a bit better. Flights always looks good on a Srixon iron. I'll always do love how that flight pops up in the air. So let's have a little look at the numbers. So let's jump over and have a little look at the numbers. Now, in terms of the data, it's always interesting for me to have a quick look at the dispersion. Now, both went a little left in the end. The big white circle there is the 790, the yellow one being the ZXi5. So straight away you can see, although they're left, the dispersion pattern was tighter with 790, and carry distance, let's just flip that over to carry distance was a fractionally longer overall. So if I look at the comparison, we're talking about a 6-yard carry increase on 790 versus ZXi5, so a little bit quicker, a little bit further, sorry. Land angle, however, is better with the ZXi5. There was a couple of missed strikes in there. You can see that first one. If I take that out, it tightens the pattern up a little bit because I caught that one a little bit thin. Overall 790, I did catch one a little heavy, but it didn't really change the data too much. You do get a little bit more jumpers in the 790. It does feel like it pops off the face a little bit quicker and faster. But land angle's a lot better with ZXi5, which for me is always a big sort of red flag. Ball speed on both is very, very similar. But one thing that's come out is the spin on both is very, very low. So we could argue that's the ball a little bit. I mean, there is a spin rate in there that is definitely probably a little bit of a misread, if I'm honest, in that one there at 3,500 revs. If we take that out, they're both sitting at about 5,000, which is quite low. We are using the RCT Titleist Pro V ball, so on the TrackMan indoor, so it shouldn't be a misread. It's just coming out very, very flat and very low. Smash factor on both is very, very good, very, very stable. Overall, these irons are both equally as powerful as each other. I'd probably just want to play with the loft of it, change it, maybe weaken it a little bit. The distance in both of these irons is so long that actually I could afford to weaken the loft off a little bit on both, increase the spin a little bit, and really not sacrifice that much in terms of distance. So there's some alterations that we could make with both those irons. I think if we were looking at these irons and you were hitting them in the bay, you're definitely going to get a similar feel, but you are going to also notice that, in my opinion, that the ZXi5 is a little bit softer. It does feel like the ball sticks to the face a little bit longer. That's just a feeling. It also feels that 790 is hotter. It does feel like that. It feels like it jumps, and it is a super powerful iron. So if you're looking for a distance iron, in terms of look, however, there's not much in it. I love the look of Srixon. I do love the look of the Srixon iron. 790 is class. It is just an absolute brilliant looking iron. So I think that when you're looking at these numbers, it really is going to come down to one thing and one thing only. Carry distance, about the same. Spin rates, you're going to have to play with the loft a little bit, in my opinion. Smash factor, ball speeds, pretty much the same. Although 790 wins purely on the numbers, a little bit longer in carry, a little bit more ball speed. I think these two clubs are so tight together, and with the benefit of the ZXi5 being that little bit cheaper per iron, I think you're going to have to put these in play, put them on a fitting bay, put them on a TrackMan, give them a test, and really ask yourself the question, which one do I like the look and feel of the most? So, great test, two great irons. I hope that was helpful. I hope you're going to get into a fitting bay as soon as you can and put those to the test yourselves. Please make sure you comment on this video if you have tested those irons and give us your feedback on how they perform for you and your thoughts and views on the fields as well. It's always great to hear from you guys. Remember, thanks for watching and hit that subscribe button.